Coming up on Laser Update, a deep dive into the history of OCC's bookstore.
And have you ever wondered what it's like to be an RA? We check in with Taylor McLaughlin to find out more about the job. All this and more on today's Laser Update.
Hello and welcome to Laser Update for Thursday, April 18th. I'm Joe Mazie.
And I'm Kodak Trombley.
Well folks, spring has finally sprung. Kodak, how are you feeling about the warm weather?
Well, Joe, it's been raining for the past 2 days, but I've certainly been enjoying the warm weather.
Whether you're waiting in line an hour for textbooks or stopping by for a quick snack or school supplies, we're all quite familiar with OCC's Barnes & Noble bookstore. And this bookstore has a surprisingly interesting history. We sent Cameron Schoen to find out more.
Throughout the history of OCC, the school bookstore has been in a number of different locations. Many of the students today remember it being in the Whitney building, right at the entrance. It wasn't massive, but it was a nice place to grab any supplies needed or for a quick snack. However, in 2023, the store's location changed when Micron came in and moved where the store once was, leaving many students puzzled where they needed to get their box of books. The store was relocated to Mawhinney Hall to the left of the front entrance, even being marked from the outside. While the drastic location change might have been an inconvenience for some, the new location does have benefits. The box of books was now across from the store rather than inside the store, so lines in the store were cut significantly. The location change hasn't stopped students from seeing all of the OCC merch available for them, and it hasn't deterred the staff from helping the students with whatever they may need. This has been Cameron Schoen, and now back to the show.
OCC's bookstore has snacks, school supplies, a wide array of household items, and even OCC merch. The bookstore is now located in the first floor of Mawhinney, open Monday through Friday.
If you lived in the dormitories of OCC, you probably have become well acquainted with your friendly neighborhood residential assistants. But have you ever wondered what an RA actually does day to day? And how do they balance their time between their duties and their classes? Noah McCarthy has the story.
No residence hall is complete without your friendly neighborhood residential assistant, and we tracked down Taylor McLaughlin to share the ins and outs of the job.
Hello, my name is Taylor McLaughlin. I am a resident assistant here at Onondaga Community College. My major is liberal arts and sciences. There is lots of responsibilities as an RA. You have to check in on your residents from time to time. You promote programs where you can bring residents together. For instance, I'm having a mocktail Monday where we're going to make Shirley Temples and play card games. You definitely get a lot of experience on the job, and that really will help you if you want to transfer. The cons is really definitely balancing work and school, because as an RA you have a lot of responsibilities, but yet you still have to make sure that you're getting good grades, you're doing your assignments, and you're doing good on exams. So you definitely got to take the time to figure out, okay, what work needs to be done now, and what times work for me. Just sitting down and figuring out time management for you. A lot of people ask me, is it worth being an RA? Is it worth the losing sleep and having to deal with those conflicts? And I'd say yeah, because you learn so much with being an RA, because you get that job experience. You really meet a lot of good people on the job, and it makes the college experience worth it.
Taylor McLaughlin plans to move on to SUNY Oswego after graduation this spring, and is taking the skills learned as an RA with them.
Our RAs have a lot on their plates keeping their residents safe and engaged in the community we have here. If you live in the dorms, be sure to let your RAs know how much you appreciate their hard work.
We're going to take a little break, but when we come back, we take the pulse of the campus on voting, and we'll have a look at how OCC's clubs are showing off for our future freshmen. But first,
from the director of Bones and All and Suspiria comes a tale of drama, action, and tennis. Luca Guadagnino's Challengers comes to theaters on April 26, putting a twist on the classic love triangle when two up-and-coming pro tennis players are competing not only for the same woman, but also her coaching skills. Starring Josh O'Connor, Mike Faist, and Zendaya, this sensual sports drama has something for everyone.
PTK stands for Phi Theta Kappa. It is an honors college-based honor society. Our chapter is one of the most awarded chapters in the whole country. For benefits, we have the transfer scholarships that are available. There is this suite. We have Jackie and Annie who are available to help with transfer, scholarship, and a number of other resources. Being a member of PTK has improved my OCC experience as it's helped me get involved more, and big thing, it's a huge resume builder.
OCC is very affordable, especially for students that maybe aren't necessarily sure what they want to do for the rest of their lives. Take some classes here and there and not break the bank. Specifically in the School of Arts, Communication, Business, and Entrepreneurship, I think the students are really fortunate because the class sizes are small enough that the faculty really get to know the students one-on-one. They get to know their strengths, their areas of improvement, their goals, whether it be transfer, career. When you come here and you're sitting in a classroom, you're not just a number.
My name is Yan Do. This is my second year at OCC, and I major in business administration. What I like most about OCC is the lounge that's open to the students. It's a good way to interact with other people, and overall it's just a good environment to be in. The benefits of attending OCC are the resources they have on campus. For example, the Learning Center, study rooms in the library, and activities that they host on campus. There is kind of a big shift going from high school to OCC, but you have a lot of professors and resources on campus to help deal with that.
24th anniversary of melancholy indie rock icon Elliott Smith's Figure 8 is today. Featuring hits like Son of Sam and Pretty Mary Kay, the album is a great listen for a rainy day. It's available on all music streaming platforms, so if you want to take a trip back to the year 2000 today, check it out. Welcome back to Laser Update. We took a look at the people keeping our student population laser focused, and now we're checking in with the students of OCC. We'll learn more about what our peers are up to outside of class.
Though more and more young people are showing up to the polls, more attention is paid to presidents and congressmen than your local city councilman. Or so it seems. Noah McCarthy takes the pulse of the campus on this civic duty.
Well, another presidential election is creeping up on us, but let's forget about that political circus for a minute. I want to talk about something a little closer to home. Do our students actually vote in their local elections?
Currently, no. The only reason for that is that I simply just have not registered.
No.
All right, can you tell me why?
So I don't know if I really voted in a local election in 2022 because it wasn't a presidential election. I just more pay attention to presidents than local politics, and I think I should pay attention to local politics, but honestly, it's just like I don't have to. It's my right not to vote. So
yes, I do. I do
right.
vote in my local election.
So why do you?
Because it's important to make sure you can vote for change that you're thinking about. If you don't agree with stuff, you can actually change it.
Well, looks like the votes are in on local elections. For Laser Update, I'm Noah McCarthy.
If you haven't registered to vote yet, you can head down to the closest DMV or go to ny.gov. Remember, think globally, act locally.
OCC's open house happens every semester, and the spring is the most important time. High school seniors are visiting OCC to make their college decisions, and our students and faculty pull out all the stops to make them feel welcome. And what better way to welcome prospective students than demonstrating the many clubs we have here.
At Onondaga Community College, students, professors, and staff are all colorful pieces of the same puzzle, and they don't come together any more beautifully than they do in our clubs. After all, community is in the name. At the April 5th and 6th open houses, our clubs were on display, hoping to encourage future lasers to join in.
Hi, we're Animal Conservation Club. We help out with local animal organizations such as Positivity CNY and the Oswego SPCA.
My name is Osman. I'm the former president of the MSA, and here is our Muslim Student Association Club. It's a club on campus mostly to kind of promote that there is a Muslim environment at OCC.
In addition, we had clubs dedicated to business, ASL, education, and more. If you're interested in joining a club, visit our Seoul office or check out the bulletin boards for flyers.
If you're interested in joining a club, check out the monthly calendar for club events, or keep an eye on the billboards around campus. Many clubs will put up flyers with meeting times and locations.
After the break, we'll be back with an LGBT history lesson that you definitely weren't taught in school, but that everyone should know. But before we get into that,
Monkey Man swung into theaters March 11th. Directed by Dev Patel and produced by horror legend Jordan Peele, this action flick features a young man making a meager living in an underground fight club where night after night, wearing a gorilla mask, he's beaten by more popular fighters for cash while the city's elites look on.
I chose OCC because I needed more experience with college and wanted to meet new people. OCC means making connections, meeting new people, a community. Students can find clubs, sport events, tutoring. Come to OCC.
My name is Kelly Unz. I am the Assistant Director within the School of Arts, Communication, Business, and Entrepreneurship here at Onondaga Community College. It's my job as their advisor and student navigator to help get them the steps that they need to take in order to achieve those goals. I think the bigger question is why not come to OCC? It's, again, right in the middle of Onondaga County. You can get a bunch of college experience and just life experience living in Syracuse.
Everyone's really like-minded. Everyone enjoys working with each other. We all basically combined our minds and help each other in fixing the issues with these cars and figuring out the labs. And you go in the lab, you fix cars, you figure out electronic circuits, you figure out brake issues or suspension issues, fixing cars, learning how to diagnose issues, learning how things work, like how brakes work and how engines work and how suspension works. You learn every single field, electronics, you learn all the fields that have to do with mechanics.
What will your OCC story be?
they're still alive. Legendary grunge band Pearl Jam is coming out with their first new release in 6 years, Dark Matter. The reviews are already in. Ultimate classic rock saying without cutting lyrics and slicing riffs, Eddie Vedder and the band delivered their most satisfying album since the 90s. Dark Matter will be released on April 19th.
Welcome back to Laser Update. Our last segment of the evening features an informative feature on a topic you quite likely didn't know about.
LGBTQ issues are a hot topic nowadays, with more visibility being gained for members of the transgender community. But this history is still often lost to the past, with little of it being recorded and almost none of it being taught. We go now to Noah McCarthy to learn about the life of transgender rights activist Louis Sullivan.
If you've been paying attention to the news lately, especially from Great Britain, you're probably hearing a lot about medical transition, which is a combination of surgeries and hormone replacement therapy used by transgender individuals to better connect themselves to their bodies. There's been a trend of right-wing commentators complaining that it's too easy for a person to transition, even claiming young people are encouraged by doctors to take hormones. Contrary to popular belief, access to medical transition is not easy, and it used to be almost impossible. But thanks to decades of activism, those who need it have access to gender-affirming care. And many men like me have one man to thank for that. Before the times of Elliot Page and Laverne Cox, and after Stonewall, there was Louis Sullivan. If you wanted to transition in the 1980s, it was a long process with a long list of restrictions from doctors who didn't quite understand some aspects of the trans experience. Patients were expected, if not required, to perform all manner of stereotypical gender roles, and heterosexuality was a requirement to transition. So for instance, if a transgender man preferred men, he would not be allowed to transition. Not to mention, most of the resources available for transgender people were geared towards transgender women at the time. In the eyes of the public, female-to-male transsexuals just didn't exist. Until Lou. Louis G. Sullivan was a transgender man who identified as gay, and was open about his trans identity, which was very uncommon at the time. He was initially denied gender-affirming care on the assumption that because he liked men, he couldn't possibly be a man. Sullivan eventually found doctors willing to help, and he proceeded in his medical transition, while advocating for the rights and visibility of trans people who weren't the model of traditional gender roles. He was also one of the first people to specifically advocate for the needs of transgender men, beginning the FTM newsletter and founding FTM International, FTM meaning female to male, dedicated to providing community and resources to transgender men. Lou Sullivan died of AIDS-related illnesses in 1991, but he made quite an impact. Throughout his activism and determination, the requirements to medically transition were changed, so gay trans men and lesbian trans women and bisexual people of either gender could have access to the resources needed to feel at home in their bodies. Lou's a personal hero of mine. I feel that I owe him so much because I could not live the life that I have if he didn't blaze the trail for me and other men like me. And now you know the story of Lou Sullivan.
Though Louis Sullivan may not be with us anymore, his memory and his legacy lives on in the next generation of trans individuals. We are lucky to live in a day and age where people are free to live as their true selves. Take a moment to think about all the progress we've made, both in medicine and in acceptance since the 1990s.
That's all the time we have for today. We hope you learned a lot and maybe even got inspired to get involved with your community here at OCC.
Join a club, say hi to your RA, or maybe head over to the library to learn something new. You can tune in to Laser Update every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m.
I'm Joe Mazie.
And I'm Kodak Trombley. This has been Laser Update.